Hello, good gentles all. Welcome back. My name is Mica Pointer. I am a graduate employee in the costume shop at the University of Oregon. And today we'll be talking about the Hook, Eye, and Bar Part 2, the thrilling sequel where we will be discussing how to secure the eye of your hook and eye. Now, we will be building off of the same project that we have been working on in videos past, in previous videos, the prequels. For the eye, let me see, here we are. Once again, this is for projects where you want them to just kiss one another for getting closed. So, where the hook was placed here on the inside or the wrong side of the project, the eye will be placed just opposite here on this other hem of our project. Except whereas the hook was set back by just 1/8 of an inch, just a little bit, for the eye, we want that to be set out by just barely, just a little 1/8 of an inch there. So that way it will be able to efficiently hook into it so that the two pieces will be able to just kiss one another right there. Okay? Again, this will involve tunneling some stitches, except for one stitch that goes all the way through the layers, just as we did for the hook here, if you were watching that video. And another thing to watch out for is, just as in our hook here, there's that gap in this loop where threads might slip through. If you notice for the eye, it's that same case, oops, focus, there we go. It's that same case for both of the loops here. So just be careful and cognizant of that you're not getting your stitches too close to those gaps and it doesn't slip out. So once again, mind the gap. So, just as with the hook and most any closure, we will be working with double-threaded needles, both of them tied together at the end there. I'm going to be doing my stitches starting from the outside of the loop and coming out on the inside. So these will be 5 stitches for each of the loops. There we go. And you will have to keep solid hold of the eye as you're working it, just so that doesn't start slipping around or coming off of where you want it to be, because especially with closures, alignment is everything. Nothing's worse than a crooked closure. Okay, so that was stitch 1. I'll take a second stitch, going through just the top layer, just right here. Okay. And for the next one, I'm going to send through all the layers. So I'm going to bring it through, taking just a little nibble of only a few threads from the right side of the fabric. Okay? So that way, nice and subtle, just a little pick. And in an ideal world where the thread is the same color as the project we're working on, it would just disappear, especially if you're seeing it from stage. So, all right, those 2 stitches, I believe. So this one's going to be our third. And coming back out, not going all the way through. Excellent. Go 2 more. Okay. And for getting from one loop to the other to keep things nice and clean on this side here, And to keep the hook from getting caught in anything that it's not supposed to, I prefer to tunnel my stitches going from loop to loop. So I'm going to be sliding just in between these two layers here and coming out in the center of this opposite loop here. So if I can get everything where I want it, and I don't have to redo it as you had seen in my hook video. Okay, checking for alignment, that looks acceptable. I might want to go over just a little bit if I'm going to be picking those knits. Just a few more. Okay, I'm going to call that good. Moment of truth. Okay, so that secured our 5th stitch over here. And we can come up in the center over here. There we are. And once again, I'm going to be stitching in from the outside, coming up on the inside of that loop. Going to do 5 stitches all together, and one of our stitches is going to be going through all the layers. Oh, we're good. Okay. So that's 1. This is going to be 2. There we go. And we want to try and have our stitches not clumped all together, as this one's kind of looking right now, but sort of fanned out a little bit to spread the tension and the weight evenly around the loop there. Again, without getting too close to the gap. Mind the gap. We're going to be making this one the stitch that goes all the way through the layers. So I'm going to be going all the way through, taking just a small nibble of the fabric on the right side here, coming up in the center. Okay, making sure, whoops, nope, too much. Okay, there we are. Good then. Okay, so I'll need 2 more stitches for here. Not showing, good. Excellent, all right. Now, just as we had to secure the top part of our hook here to keep that from flopping around, if you notice, we have kind of a similar situation for the eye right here, except to remedy that, instead of just 1 stitch area that solves all our problems here, for here, we're going to be doing some stitches just on either side of these parts going up and out right here. So just above where the loops are that we've been stitching through right now, we're going to do a couple of stitches just right there to hold everything in place. Okay, so I'm going to be tunneling from this loop down here, coming up just on top on that straight area, just on the inside. Boop, there we are. And I'll be doing, again, 5 stitches. Stitch 1. Stitch 2. Stitch 3, we'll be sending all the way through the layers, and being careful if your thread starts to wrap up on itself, you can just twist the needle to get them straightened out. That way it doesn't bind up on you and you don't accidentally have it knot up on you. Naughty, naughty thread. Okay. Little nibble coming up on the inside. There we are. Good. I'll do 2 more, and then we'll tunnel and do the same thing here on the opposite side. A little too generous of a bite. There we go. And we'll be tunneling on this one. Okay. Coming up on the inside. There we go. And going from outside in. One. There's 2. This 3rd stitch I'm going to have go all the way through. And it doesn't have to be the 3rd stitch every time. It could be your 1st stitch, it could be your last stitch, just as long as you have one of those 5 stitches that goes through all the layers, just to keep everything tight, keeps the layers from shifting around on you, and keeps all the tension from being placed on this one layer, because if that's the case, then that will want to shift up and pull in spite of this layer. Having them go through all the layers keeps everything secure. Okay. And that'll be 2 more stitches, and then we can tie off. There we are. Excellent. Okay. All right. So I think I'm going to want to tie my knot on the outside of the loop. There again, keeping everything nice and clear for the hook, so there's nothing to obstruct it. I'm going to take an anchor stitch, creating a loop. I'm going to go once, if you're able to see that, I'll actually put it on camera, twice through the loop, pull it taut, and then if you want to get rid of those tails, you can tunnel your tails, just clear that out. I'm going to stick it in between the layers of fabric. Oh, in between, I said in between. There we go. Gonna come up a little bit further. Oh, gracious, I went through every single layer. Oh, naughty, naughty. There we are. So that way, the tail gets trapped in between all those layers. And if we pucker it just a little, get our trusty snips, snap that off, it just slips inside and gets nice and taken care of. So now, moment of truth, I suppose. If we hook these together, they should just kiss. Look at that. Very nice. Okay. So that is your hook and eye. Be sure and stay tuned for the thrilling conclusion, Hook, Eye, and Bar Part 3. Our trip to the bar. Thank you for joining me. If you need any clarification or have any questions, my email is up on the University of Oregon website under Graduate Students for Theater Arts. Thank you for joining me, and I wish you happy sewing.